Welcome to LOA Today. I'm Walt here with life coach Linda Armstrong. Today is Friday, March the 6th, 2020. It's 4 p.m. New York time. And wherever you are in the world, thanks for joining us for another episode of LOA Today, your daily dose of happy. And I've got to start off the day with a little shout out to my brother who's celebrating his birthday today. Happy birthday, Mark.
Yay, happy birthday.
We got to recognize those things. Those are the things that, they're just like a perfect opportunity to feel good about something. And it costs you nothing. It's like, there it is. It's right there waiting for you.
You know what? And that's a great reminder because we get so caught up in everything we're doing that those things maybe feel smaller because you got this mountain of stuff to do. But really, those are the big things.
They are.
Yeah.
They are.
When you make that heart-to-heart connection and you share that energy, that's very uplifting.
Interesting you should say that because during yesterday's show with Dan and Alex, we did something. I don't know if I've ever told you about hippoing. Hippoing is a term that Louise and I created to define situations where you've decided you're going to start imagining and trying to attract stuff that's almost impossible, just like so big that you couldn't possibly imagine actually getting it and so forth. But you go for it anyway, just for the exercise of imagining it. And it was a good exercise. All three of us found that, we'd been kind of a little bit lackadaisical. We hadn't really been going for the gusto. So it gave us a chance to do that. And that was a good thing. But it also was a real good reminder that when you do that, it's, even though it's not something you're really, really expecting is going to come true, although it certainly can, there's nothing going to stop it. It's like Abraham Hicks says, it's easy to attract a castle as a button. But, we have our resistances. We have certain things we just have more trouble believing we can attract. But when you go for it anyway, you feel better. That's the thing that we were finding. Well, you feel a whole lot better. So the same thing applies as when you're doing something simple like wishing somebody a happy birthday. You're not staying in that little tight zone where, oh my God, I got to get this stuff happening.
Which doesn't allow for the possibility. So when you're talking about hippoing or imagining something so out there, I mean, isn't that what we do when we come into this world?
Mm-hmm.
Aren't those little kids just imagining all sorts of stuff? And they're not imagining it. It's actually real for them.
Yeah.
We, because we have this limited, confined understanding of what's possible, think they're making stuff up.
Mm-hmm. It's true. Yeah, it's true.
But they're just living it, and who knows? They could be tapping into other dimensions and it's real. It's happening. So I would invite people to watch these little kids when they're doing this. And when they tell you they've got this friend that's there with them, have an open mind to what actually might be there and let yourself go with the magic of it. You can contribute to it.
Sure. Yes. Absolutely. I mean, let's be perfectly honest. Who are the best people in the world when it comes to imagining things? Little kids. They do it all the time. That's their life. They spend so much time just creating and imagining and playing and pretending and all. I mean, they're so good at it. And it's a little bit sad that we kind of lose that as we're growing up. But the good news is that many of us are trying to relearn it again and are succeeding in doing so. But kids, I agree with you. They are the best teachers when it comes to this kind of thing.
And I'd say majority of the kids actually have everything they need just come to them. It just comes to them. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
They need to be cleaned, we clean them. They need to be fed, we feed them. They don't worry that they're not going to have that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
And it's not as if there aren't kids that are in bad circumstances, neglected and so forth. That certainly does exist. But what we're describing is an overall tendency. I mean, you give kids any degree of the kind of support that kids need, they are going to show us. They're going to teach us just by example, which is fabulous.
It just happens. It's just magic because they're still in the magic mode.
They're still there. Yeah. It's a good place to be. A really good place to be. Yeah. The whole hippoing thing actually came from Louise and I like to occasionally just go out on an adventure, a weekend trip or something like that, and just imagine some X that is really, really big. And like, for instance, going out and looking at houses that are like 25 times beyond what we can afford, stuff like that. And we needed a term to describe that because we realized that sometimes we would kind of cross paths a little bit. We cross circuits. One of us would be talking about doing this imagining, and the other person thought we were talking about actually trying to buy the thing and saying, well, we really can't afford that yet. So we needed a term to it so we could both be on the same page. And hippoing actually comes from her favorite Christmas time song, I Want a Hippopotamus for Christmas, from the 1950s, which is just like, it's such an out there thing,
Right.
finding a hippopotamus for Christmas, it seems impossible. So, we figure, okay, let's call it hippoing. Why
Yeah.
not?
Works.
It worked for me too. And that's
Yeah.
what we did. Every once in a while, she'll send me an email. If the subject is hippo and what's coming up inside. So some suggestion about what to do
Right.
next.
That could be a good process for people to do. I share that with other people, this hippoing
Yeah.
thing, and then send somebody a hippogram. All right. So
A hippogram.
a hippogram, so we can lift ourselves out of that project that we're so sunk into, or whatever it is, for 10 minutes. You go on this little journey, right?
Absolutely. In fact, as you mentioned that, something else that came out of the conversation with Dan yesterday, in particular, he said that he has a sort of an ongoing thing that he does. He programs into his phone at various times throughout the day a little alarm to pop up and say, stop and get yourself back into alignment. And he said he's been getting a lot of good results from that. So I figured, okay, I mean, it sounds annoying to me, to be perfectly honest, but I figured I'd give it a shot. I tried for a couple of days. So I've been trying it all day today. And you know what? It really does work.
Yeah.
I mean, and I said it like an hour apart. So I would do it at the top of every hour. So 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11, and so forth.
Yeah, of course.
And what I was finding was an hour was perfect, because around 50 to 55 minutes is when I was starting to lose it. If I'm working on one of these programming projects, and my attention was starting to wander and I was getting frustrated and so forth. And then the alarm would go off. I'd stop, do something, do a little meditating, just focus, think about something fun, something happy, get myself back into alignment. And I'm telling you, I got a lot of work done today. It really worked. It really, I'm talking about keeping myself in alignment. It was great.
I think I mentioned before, and I haven't done this in a while, so it's a good reminder for me.
Okay.
I used to program, there's this, I call them angel love puffs, right? Where you just stop and you just breathe in this angel energy, this energy of love. So it's just like stopping no matter what you're doing. And I would do it 3 times a day. And I would just connect to those breaths. And I use an app. It's called MediSafe, MEDISAFE. It's for taking pills.
Oh, okay.
And you can program it, pills. And there was a thing for puffs, because I guess some people have to take puffs of medication. So I'm like, oh, perfect. Angel love puffs 3 times a day, three puffs a time, something like that.
I'm loving it.
It made it more of a game. And somehow I stopped doing that. But I have to tell you, when I was doing that, it really keeps you connected. I connect in other ways. I think that, so I kind of was playing around with other things, but it's a good reminder to do that again, because that was fun.
It's really something. We have so many different processes that we have discovered ourselves or had others tell us about and so forth. And many of them we left behind. And I'm beginning to think we should probably be revisiting them personally, individually, because there are a lot of good ones there. I mean, how many stories have I heard just this week? Exactly like what you described, in the sense of, I used to do that and I kind of let it go.
Yeah. But you know what? It's not bad, because there's so many possibilities, right? So then you get onto something else. You're like, oh, this is really cool. I'm going to do this. And then you put that one aside and you kind of forget about it until maybe you're reminded and like, oh, I think I want to do that one again, right? Yeah.
Sort of like the way you pick your card decks for Friday. I mean, we haven't done this in a while. I'm going to grab that one.
Yeah. They'll just show up in some way when it's time to revisit it. So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So
good reminder.
Yeah. Well, that's. Well, I just wanted to give a summary of what was happening for me today, because I like to share anything that I feel like I'm learning from. And I was learning from that today. I was saying, this patterning, because that's really what this is. This is patterning. This is setting up a pattern for success, or a pattern for more conscious control, or whatever you want to call it. And that patterning really does work. I mean, we are patterned individuals anyway. That subconscious mind, that's basically a pattern. It's a tape. Whatever the case. There's a lot of them. Yeah, right. It's a program. Yep. So you got to do programming. Well, sometimes you have to. It takes a program to reprogram a program.
Yeah. Yep. And that's why I like Access Bars, because it's like really pushing the delete button on those programs, letting it go.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah. So, anything interesting happening with you this week?
I had a fun day today, and actually a guest who's going to come on our show
Ooh.
was at my house. I mentioned her to you before. Her name's Rita Giganti.
Sure.
She does have a book that Hay House published, and it's called The Godfather's Daughter.
Okay.
Because her father ran 5 families of the mob in New York City.
You mentioned her last week, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if she's going to talk about that part or how she came to all that she does. You know, we'll wing it and see what happens. But she did write the book, and it's called The Godfather's Daughter. Mm-hmm. So I had her come over to my house today because I wanted to check the energy of my house, because we had some funky things happen for a while. With actually both of our businesses, with the energy going down. I'm like, what's going on here? And I had something in the back of my mind that it could have been, and I wasn't able, or, you know, it's hard to tap into your own stuff because your mind really can get in the way. And then you're not hearing the stuff that comes in when it's your own stuff. Yeah. So, I had her come over to check my space. And so she went all through the space, and the energy is really good. She told me a lot of things about what's happening on the land, all the little elementals and little fairies and things that are helping protect my land. And that is really actually very protected. And she tapped into that there's this energy portal. Now, I knew about this energy portal, but because I would do this meditation out in my yard, I don't know if I ever described it to you. And like, I wanted to do open eye, just meditate with my eyes open and just be in this energy. Mm-hmm. And like when I do that, especially out there, like everything starts to, like, if you've ever been in an earthquake in California, when it's a rolling earthquake, I've been in a really big one when I was living out there. Things that are buildings, signs, cars, everything looks like it's on water. It's like, it's just this real fluid kind of thing. So when I'm doing this meditation, I'm just staring out at the end of my yard where there's a lot of trees there. Everything started moving, like as if it's breathing, right? And I never told you this?
I don't think
getting
so.
Really,
no.
really pixelated, and even the light patterns were changing. It was really funky. But in the center of all of that, at the end of my yard, was this glowing green energy that was just kind of pulsating at me. And in one time, it even came at me like as a shape of a heart.
Wow!
And I'm like, oh, this is really cool. And it's like when you're looking at, you know, those paintings that are all like little speckles, and if you focus softly, you can see the image. Right. So it's kind of like that's the way you're not really looking, you're just there. Mm-hmm. And that's when all this stuff was happening. So I can do that pretty easily. I think everybody can do it, unless it's something to do with that portal. But at the time, I asked another friend of mine who's a psychic medium. I'm like, told her what was happening in this meditation. She said, "Oh, well, that's an energy portal." And I'm like, okay. Like I didn't really think too much about it, but over these past months, when we had this kind of decline with our businesses, I thought, I wonder if there's maybe some bad energy came in through the portal. You know, like, I don't know.
Sure, you start to doubt after a while.
It's on the back of my mind. So I wanted her to come over and check it. And I didn't mention anything about this portal. And so as she's checking the energy, she's like, yeah, it's like this space. It's like there's a portal here, and its purpose is for you to, she goes, you really need to connect more with this portal because there's a lot of work you need to do. And it's to help heal the area around you. It's not just around you, like really around you. She's going on this whole big thing. I'm like, well, hold on a second. I've seen the portal. I know where the portal is. I've already had confirmation that that's what that thing was, but I never really checked into it. Like I didn't know that there's something to do with it. Like, I don't know why. Maybe the time wasn't right. Mm-hmm. So it was very interesting, right? So she saw that and a bunch of other things. And so, and she's tapping into like what's going on and everything. And I know already everything shifted. And I think a lot of it is to do with the access consciousness work that I'm doing. Everything shifted. So she confirmed that too about she's like, tell me the things that she's seeing coming up. And I'm like, all right, good. So I had such peace of mind after that. And I'm like, Rita, you got to come on my show. I've been thinking about having you on this show. And so she's like, oh, yeah, I'll do it. So I'm waiting to hear from her. I said, any Friday at 4, you let me know when you can do it. So I'll let you know when I know. We can let everybody know then.
Absolutely. Yeah. It sounds like it's going to be fun. And she sounds like she has more than one fork in the fire. I mean, not only is she the Godfather's daughter, but she's got some real energy skills, hasn't she?
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, she's tapped into a lot of stuff.
Very cool. All right. Well, this is good then. This is a good end to a good week.
Yeah.
From what I can see.
I feel really good. In fact, like after she left, I'm like, I'm just gonna chill. But I was chilling so much, and then I started doing some little bit of something. I got caught on this working with some photograph that I'm putting into an email, and I look at the clock. I'm like, oh my God. Well, I'll be right there. And then I get myself all set up. Yeah.
No harm, no foul. We work out just fine. No big deal here. But yeah, that's great. I like it when we have. I mean, it's always good no matter what happens because we have the contrast to pick from, and okay, yes, I like what this is going on here, but I don't like this. So I want this instead. That that's all very good. But I like it especially when we just have a good week, when good things happen. I particularly like that a lot, and that sounds like that's what's been going on. So fabulous. I love it.
So I'm going to just shuffle up the decks while we're talking. Well, one deck anyway. We'll start with one.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds
fine. We'll
fine.
see what happens.
Because I don't really have a particular topic in mind. So, I mean, Fridays, I'm always like, I'm topicked out for the week. So I'm glad you have the card decks. Otherwise, I'd be lost.
Yeah, Friday's our wing it day.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, what wants to be spoken about, and then it'll come through.
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh, but I was going to say, for anybody who's listening, and you have questions for someone who is a psychic medium, send them in so we can ask her about it when she's on the show.
Sure. Yeah. I'll make sure to put a couple of posts on social media about that too, because that'll inevitably drive a question or two. I also, as you were talking about, I remembered last week, one of the cards that you drew ended up producing a rather interesting result that Dan Mangano noticed. He was in the live stream, listening to that particular show. And I shared it with you, but one of the cards, it was the White Witch, I believe it was. One with the owl with the antlers. And I particularly remember the antlers on the owl because that was pretty wild. The very next day, another person he knows about online who pulls cards pulled the exact identical card. Yeah, and so, when you consider how many card decks there are and how many cards there are in each deck, the odds there become pretty enormous. So,
right. But it just goes to tell you how all it's doing is tapping into the collective energy.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's no wonder. I mean, a lot of times I'll look at there's a lot of people who read tarot on YouTube, and you can get your reading for the year, for every month. People do them even by the week. And I can listen to a bunch of them, and they'll not always, but yeah, they'll always have some part of the reading I heard 10 minutes ago from somebody else or 2 days ago to do with cancer. I'm a cancer for the month of March or whatever it might be.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll see it's a lot of the same stuff. And these are all people all over the world. They're in different places. Some are in England, the ones I listen to, some are here, they're all over the place.
Sure.
Tapping into the energy. Yeah.
Yep. Well, it's more reinforcement and I love the reinforcement because where I started from, where all this energy stuff was concerned. You know what it was like when you first came onto the show, but I love all this reinforcement because it just gives me more confidence. I just start to feel good. Door to spirit, yeah. Of course, perfect.
In the upright position. So let's see what door to spirit wants to talk about. Oh, there it is.
Okay.
I just passed it up. Okay. I know what it's going to say. All right, so spiritual awakenings and new beginnings. This door opens onto an expansive energetic realm where all new beginnings originate. And it is a nice picture. See,
it's beautiful. Yeah.
Okay. The orbs of light are guiding. Oh, that's another thing that Rita told me today. She was talking about all this different energy that's here supporting us. I'm like, you know what? When I shoot my YouTube videos, a lot of times there's these little orbs that come through.
Oh, right.
And I'm like, she's like, oh yeah, it's all over. You got good helpers here. I'm like, oh yeah. All right. Okay. The orbs of light are guiding you through the clouds of the earthly world, leading you to a deeper understanding of your eternal identity, the source of all true value and power. This door opens onto truly unlimited potential, for the changes that happen here are deep into the core. They reach deep into the core of your being. As such, this card often heralds your increasing powers in the spiritual arts and deepening connection with the spirit world. Don't be surprised if you find yourself becoming more intuitive, more aware of spirit's presence, or more powerful in your own healing practices. Now is the time to open up to the unexpected guidance and inspiration of your spirit and to the magic and power of your true identity. Yeah, that's a big card for everybody, because even people who don't, everybody's a healer. And even people who have no idea that they can tap in, because anybody can tap into the energy, because we are all energy and it's available to everyone if you choose to open it, right?
Makes sense.
Some people are drawn to that, and so we're the ones who become the healers. But it doesn't mean that everybody is not, doesn't mean that you're not able to do it if you don't consider yourself a healer or something like that. You don't realize in how many ways you're helping to heal people just by being around them, just by being that energy and that light there in the room. And you know that. You could be somewhere and someone comes in the room and everything just feels better.
Oh, yeah.
And they might be, maybe their job is, I don't know what, but not healer.
Yeah.
But yet they're doing it. They're healing you just by being around you.
Yeah, we've all experienced that where we describe it a lot of different ways. We might describe it as somebody who's charismatic, or somebody who's just full of joy and they seem to bring the joy into the room and so forth. But I think you're right. In all of those cases, they are tapped into energy in a particularly strong way that's affecting other people.
Yeah, actually, you know what? It just made me think of one of the moms, because I have a karate school, and one of the moms who comes in, no matter what, there's something about her that you just feel good around her, right? And she's a mom with 3 kids. That's what she does.
Yeah.
Right? But I bet you everyone who comes in contact with that woman's like, oh, wow, I just feel good. How come I feel good? I didn't do anything.
I know, right? It's funny. It's funny when that feeling comes. It's a good feeling, though. It's great. And you know that kind of person instantly. You don't have to know who they are. I mean, I'm not saying you know them personally, but you know them as soon as they come into the room or wherever you are. You just feel it.
Right. And the flip side is you can feel the ones that can bring the energy that will drag you down. So that's a good thing, because then you're like, oh, I actually can sense energy. That's how you sense energy? That's energy? Yes, that's energy.
That's true. That's true. That's a good point. So you've given me one more reason to feel strong about believing. That's good. I like that.
Well, you don't need any more excuses. You're in now.
I need all the reinforcement I can get. The more reinforcement I get, the better off I am. I'm sure of that.
Yeah. But trust me, after a while, you don't need that. You're just like, hey, it's my truth. I don't care if anybody believes my truth or not. It's my truth.
Oh, well, yeah, I agree with that. I think I've believed that for the longest time now. But I also know that I don't think there's any limit to how large confidence can be. And so I'm constantly interested in how many different ways can I build my confidence? How many different ways can I, really get excited about who I am in this life and in this world? So.
Yeah. So find all those ways and then do this.
Look forward. The cards are hitting today.
Look forward. Okay. Number 41. Looks like
he's on a journey around a sort of a rounded cliff there too. That
which I would never be on. You ever see those videos? You might see them across Facebook or something, and there's like somebody riding their motorcycle around that. Or,
yeah, right.
And you're like, oh my God, get off of there. I can't watch it.
You and Louise has got a fear of heights. So for instance, when we were down in Florida at Universal Studios, and at Disney Springs too, but especially at Universal, you saw some of these roller coaster type things, and she'd be this is really funny. She would be the one who would look at it and say, "Oh, I can't look," and I'm not even noticing it, but she's noticing it in a big way because she's afraid of heights. So
yeah,
it's funny.
I used to love those things, but now I can't do it so much because I get a little dizzy.
I used to get a lot dizzy. Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. 41. The answer is simple. Look forward.
Mm-hmm.
So it says the ego looks backward and wallows in regret. Yes, so true.
Mm-hmm.
The spirit looks forward with excitement and wonder. The ego looks down and sees few options. The spirit looks up and perceives endless possibilities. The ego looks for problems and views itself as a victim. The spirit seeks out solutions and sees itself as a genius. I love this card.
This is good.
Your spirit wants you to look up and behold your wonderful life ahead. The past is over, and there's only learning to gain from it. The future isn't yet decided and is open to becoming whatever you desire. Look with optimism and enthusiasm at the wonderful possibilities that lie ahead. There's nothing blocking you except the ego habit of of limiting your own view. Glance up and you'll see doors opening to you. You're free from the past, so don't look back anymore. Peer ahead with the light heart of your spirit. You'll be delighted by what you see. Oh, I love it. I love it. So far, both cards speak to me completely.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about that for a minute. Because are they using the idea of looking up as a metaphor, or are they saying literally look up?
No, as a metaphor. As a metaphor. Look up, look ahead, look forward.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because we don't look back. And see, that's the thing. When we try to figure out solutions to our own like emotional stuff, not a solution to how to make this house more functional or whatever it is, like a solution to the crap that's holding you back in your life, you really can't find it for yourself because you're only operating off those old if you're stuck in that lower energy, you're only operating off the same old patterns. And that's why things repeat. You know, you find yourself in, you think you get out of the cycle, then you're back in this thing. And then you think you get out and then you're back in again because you're only operating off of that same programming that got you there, got you out of there, got you there, got you out of there, right? We want to break that by blasting out all that old crap that the ego keeps going back to so that you are open, so that you look forward. And that's what energy healers do. I don't know if people understand that so much, maybe they think it's just a physical thing to get rid of a physical problem, but it's more so all this emotional baggage that we carry around that we don't even know. A lot of times we don't even know it's emotional baggage, but it's there, and that's what it's doing. It's pulling you back.
It's keeping sense.
You in the past.
Yeah. I mean, when you consider all of the different ways that people know, we know for sure that people are able to bury their emotions and often do bury emotions, So it stands to reason there are going to be a whole lot of emotions that we aren't aware of because, well, they're buried. They're just below the surface and we have blocked ourselves from seeing or feeling them. But it also creates a bit of a conundrum because, well, if they're there and they're unexpressed and they need to be rooted out and released, we got to have a way to root them out and release them.
Right. So the difference is, it just comes down to awareness again. So when you start building your awareness, that's part of this whole spiritual awakening that's going on. Mm-hmm. And that's why it's easier to talk about this stuff. It's not so foreign anymore. At least, we also have that like attracts like thing, right? So I don't ever really come across someone who looks at me like, you're freaking crazy. Because I don't censor myself anymore. I just say whatever there is to say, and actually they think I'm off the wall. That's fine. Somehow I think whatever it is that was said is sort of implanted there for their consideration when they're able to open their mind to it. Right. And that happens a lot with people who I can see and say I have a huge family, Italian family, people who I would have never thought would be open to the kind of things I do. And now if I go to a family function, they want to know more about it. It's like, I got to talk about this stuff the whole entire time.
Wow.
There.
Very good.
Yeah. So, and it's not like I'm not doing anything, cause it's a big family. You're not in each other's space all the time. But when you come together, like this one cousin or someone here will come over. I'm like, holy shit, when did they get open to this kind of stuff? That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's just happening. It's just happening. So I'm just saying, I could see that people changing without me having to change them. They're getting it from somewhere because that energy is building up everywhere. So it's really, it's funny. I saw I don't know why this is coming to my head. Maybe that's why I watched the video. Something with John Kerry on Kelly Clarkson's show. I saw a little clip on YouTube. Mm-hmm. And some of the things he was saying, I'm like, wow, that's pretty deep. And he's not even afraid to say it. And I saw one of the comments, people think he's going insane, but I think this guy is so connected. And I'm with that one. I'm like, yeah, he's connecting to something, man. He's got it, and he's not afraid to say it.
Yeah. It's a good thing. I'm actually seeing a lot more of it too. I'm seeing it in, every once in a while, where our television is situated, it's right next to where the kitchen is. And so as I'm going to the kitchen very often, I'll see Louise is watching something while she's doing her stuff. And I'll stop for a moment sometimes just to see what she's looking at. And a lot of the time, you're getting this kind of example of what you're talking about. Some little signal saying that somebody's looking a little bit beyond the mundane. Somebody is kind of focused on some stuff that wouldn't have been focused on, say, I don't know, 25, 30 years ago.
Yeah, for sure.
You're seeing a
Yeah.
lot more of that. It's really interesting. It's interesting where it shows up in newscasts. It shows up in it shows up in plays. It shows up in movies.
So we can even look a little deeper and connect the dots to, you ready for it?
Okay.
Cosmic disclosure.
Cosmic disclosure.
And
Okay,
what's
we got to talk about
happening.
that.
You know, that we talked about last week, we talked about all that kind of stuff with
Mhm.
Corey Goode and David Wilcock, and
Right.
there's a whole bunch of other ones. And the movies that have this information in it, like it's being seeded out, put it that way.
Mhm.
And we're just grasping parts of it, bits of it in our own way.
Mhm. Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's what's happening. And it's pretty wild. It's fun.
Yeah, it is fun.
It's like Louise and I said to each other the other day. I don't remember what we saw. We saw something that was along the same line. And we said, boy, it's fun to be on the leading edge.
Yep.
Because you're kind of like, you're riding the wave while this whole thing is coming into play. I mean, there's the new movie. Did I talk about the movie with you? The Secret, the new.
Yeah, you mentioned it.
Yeah. The Secret Dare to Dream is what it's called. And there's a trailer out. You can see the trailer on YouTube. And it looks intriguing. It stars Katie Holmes, who, of course, has had quite a career in movies and theater. And it just looks interesting. It kind of looks a little bit like LOA Light, which is what The Secret was. But that's okay. I mean, I would say for a fictional show, it needs to be LOA Light. You don't want to throw a lot of heavy stuff, especially in an
You mean
entertainment
it's a show, not like a movie?
It's a movie.
A movie. Okay.
It's a fictional story played out on screen.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We talked about that because I thought of the Solomon books. Solomon.
The Sarah books.
Sarah books. Solomon's the owl.
Yes.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So let's go to ask your guides.
Okay.
Let's ask our guides what message is there for us today.
Nasha's tuned in and commented she loves Linda's appearances on the podcast. So.
Thank you, Nasha. Okay. Oh, New Life, Divine Mother.
Ooh.
God.
We're getting some interesting cards today.
Yeah. And now, you know what's funny is that when Rita was here, she's like, the energy of the Divine Mother, Mary, that energy is here. I'm like, really? Because I never really delved into that energy and aspect of all of the different things. It's come my way here and there.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been told to connect to that energy before, but I never did. So, but here it is. Let's see what this is about. New Life, Divine Mother.
Yeah. And she used that phrase, Divine Mother.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
that's why I'm like, what? Divine Mother? Twice in one day? No coincidence. Right. All right. This has a number somewhere. Let's find it. Okay. 48 or something. Got to put those readers on.
There they are. Okay. Oh, there's the letters.
There they are. There's the number. I can see it now. 48.
Yeah, right.
Okay. So it says, well, in my own defense, find the 48.
Yeah, it's well hidden. Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Not so much.
Not
closer.
so easy to spot there. Yeah.
Okay. So New Life, Divine Mother. It says conception, pregnancy, children, and birth. So whether you're a man or a woman, your feminine, earthly side is in full bloom. The wishes, dreams, and desires you've carried in your heart are now gestating in the divine womb and are coming into fruition. If you're a woman, this signals a time of conception, pregnancy, and birth. If you're a man, this is a time for your creativity to take form in the real world. If you're married or partnered, this might signal children are on the way. Whatever you seek to create, it's happening. The song in your heart will find its voice. The poetry will be expressed. Even your professional goals will find home in which to grow. The Divine Mother, the fertile aspect of the Divine Feminine, is gracing your life right now. And with her influence, your artistic and creative expressions come alive. If you've been feeling sterile, stagnant, and too controlled, she's here to loosen things up and get your creative juices flowing. Surrender your mind and allow your soul to come alive. In her embrace, she's with you, and her influence is powerful. Her message is, new life is on its way. Uh-oh. Hold on. Walt,
Your
did we go blank?
your
Because,
your video went away. Your audio was fine, but your video went away for a bit, and then it
okay,
came back.
because I have this, I'm going to have to take Ethernet out. We'll be okay. And
Okay.
I've got to plug in. Never mind. I got myself one of these things, right? So that, I can plug multiple things in because I knew
Oh,
I'm
right,
going to have
right.
to charge this and that it might go on me. So anyway, let's just plug the thing in. Battery. Plug it in the battery. So get Walt talk so the camera doesn't have to be on me doing all this stuff.
Well,
All right, too late. It's already done.
we got three
Okay.
cards so far, and all three cards, as usual, have really nailed it. But this week, it's like they've nailed it in spades. I mean, just absolutely perfect. Right, dead
Yeah.
on. It's just amazing.
You know what? If we lose connection, I just realized that I had the power plugged into a strip. The light wasn't on. The power was on.
Ah, so you didn't have
So anyway,
actual power.
I'm
Okay.
not going to plug this thing back in again unless we need to. So,
Okay, that's fine.
we're on Wi-Fi. For some reason, the iPad in my healing room works okay on Wi-Fi, but my laptop never did. So
Okay. Well, that's
that was
different.
a cool card. Big
That
interruption in
is.
the middle of that. But anything you want to contribute to that? It's all about new beginnings, fertility. Like projects that you want to birth. Now's a good time.
Well, the timing is perfect actually because we're about ready to opening the garden season for Louise's gardening business. I mean, literally this week she started making her first calls on potential customers, or actually existing customers who are desperately saying, "Will you please come out and fix our gardens? They need to work. They need to be ready for the season."
Yeah.
So,
And is the season going to start early? Like, what do you think about that?
I
Because
think
the
it
way the
will.
weather's been.
Yeah, normally we start April 1st, and we're thinking this year we may be able to start mid-March. So, yeah,
Yeah.
what did they say? It was an early spring. The groundhog didn't see a shadow or something.
Did we have a Groundhog Day already?
Yeah, there was a groundhog day. It was about a month ago.
That's how much I pay attention. So, yeah, but I heard snow for our area, but it's got to be light because tomorrow's supposed to be like 47.
Yeah, it's supposed to be up around 60 on Monday, I believe. So,
Yeah. All right.
yeah,
Cool. Love it.
yeah, yeah, things are warming up, but new beginnings are definitely happening in a lot of different ways. I mean, some ways that I haven't even talked about on the show yet, but I can just see. I've gotten to the point now where I can see the like incubator beginnings of stuff,
Yeah.
and I'm liking that because
Okay.
it's a little bit distracting. No, not distracting. That's not the right word. It's disconcerting because on the one hand, you can have X going on, and X isn't all that comfortable, and it's where you are right now. And on the other hand, you see Y coming in. Y is really cool, and you're experiencing both at the same time. At least
Yeah.
that's what I've been having, and it's weird because it's this not so good feeling over here. This is really good feeling here, and they're going on at the same moment. I didn't know you could do that. I didn't know you could,
Yeah.
experience a range of emotions. Not a range. It's like disparate emotions at the same time. But apparently you can.
Well, maybe that's just part of your awareness growing and being able to sense more and hold more.
I guess that's what's happening. Yeah, I'm still getting used to it, I guess is what I'm saying. But it's fun. It's different.
Yeah. Let's pick an angel card. I haven't brought the angel card onto the angel deck on the show much lately, I don't think. Let's see
I
what
can't
the
remember, but
angels want to tell us.
I'm okay with it. That sounds good to me.
Blessings in disguise, which could speak to exactly what you were just saying right now.
Okay. Yeah.
Because a lot of times before the new has to come in, something might have to shake up to make you leave that old thing and go into something new. That's why really uncomfortable things, and I was going through a whole bunch of them, they don't feel so good. But when you can keep your awareness on, I know this is leading to something or it wouldn't be happening, then you open to the possibilities, and you can even just ask, what is it about this situation that I'm not seeing that is for my benefit? There goes the cat scratching her toy. Sorry about that. I usually put her in another space, but okay, let's do blessing in disguise.
Okay. So what does it have to say?
She doesn't spend much time with that toy, so hopefully.
That's the good thing about cats and cat toys.
Yeah, it's
There's like 30 seconds, I'm over.
Yeah. Yeah, look, she's gone. She's moving away.
Yep.
Okay, blessing in disguise. So what appears to be a problem is actually part of your unanswered prayer. You'll understand the reasons behind your present situation as everything resolves. And that's always the truth, right? You look back, you're like, thank God that happened. Trust Trust in heaven's protection and infinite wisdom to answer your prayer in the best way. The angel sent you this card to help you recognize the blessings in the midst of an apparent challenge. What you've appeared to have lost needed to fall away and will be replaced with something better. Have no fear for your future, but continue praying and following the guidance that comes to you through repetitive feelings, thoughts, visions, and words. Yep.
Well, that definitely addresses it directly. Yeah.
There you go.
It's an interesting thing. Certainly as time goes on, I guess we all grow. We all develop in the direction that we're trying to develop. And I've been certainly trying to develop in the direction of being more connected to myself and kind of mastering all this stuff.
Not trying. You're doing it. You said that word a few times, and I was like, no, I'm not going to keep correcting every time because I probably say it more times than I know I'm saying it too. But you're not trying, you're doing.
Well, actually, I don't really worry too much about the wording of stuff. What I'm more interested in is how does it feel? And I perhaps need to find better ways to express what I'm feeling. But the feeling part of it is that when I say that I was trying, that was a good feeling. Trying. It wasn't a down feeling. It was a feeling of
But if you're trying, you're never getting there. Do you understand?
Well, making progress then. How about that?
You're doing it.
I'm doing it.
Step by step.
Yeah.
It's
that's how you make progress.
You
don't take steps, you don't make progress.
It's like the words want and need. You got to get them out of your vocabulary. I want more money. Well, that's just lack. Want equals lack.
Mm-hmm.
I am money. Okay, that's not lack. I need this. Then it means you don't have enough of something, right? Like it puts a very much heavier energy on it. Like you're gonna die if you don't get it because you need it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the emotional side that makes the difference. So that makes sense. If it's weighing you down, then it's not the right direction. And
really, our words have an impact on our energy and on our body, and that's been proven. So, but you catch yourself. Like my son's been doing that a lot lately. He wanted to say something that he wanted, like a simple thing, and he's like I want a cup of coffee or something like that, right? Mm-hmm. He's like, I feel like having a cup of coffee. Like, that works, right?
Shifting it,
but it takes a little practice before it just comes naturally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, all of this stuff takes practice. I mean, that's literally what my day has become. It has become, I mean, I talked about having the alarm set every hour, but that's just one example of it. Over and over again throughout the day, practicing, taking a pause, readjusting, getting in that better place, doing the next thing, stopping, readjusting. It's an ongoing thing, and I'm getting better at it. I mean, when I say that, maybe it doesn't sound all that great. It's actually very, very good because there was a time not so long ago, a year and a half ago, where just remembering to stop during the day would have seemed like an overwhelming task. Now I'm stopping multiple times in the day to realign. So it's tremendous progress.
Yeah.
And that's just the way the days have been going now.
You know, it's funny. I was just imagining putting, like people put that curse jar out or something, and you got to put a quarter in every time you curse. Like, oh, maybe it should be like want, need, like all those lacking words. You say a lack word, you got to put money in the jar.
I never really bought into that. I'll tell you why. I like the idea of a jar that you put something into every time that you say what
something
you prefer
good.
to say. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that because that's now you're reinforcing saying something good.
So every time you use that more positive word, correct the bad word or whatever it is, we can put the money in the jar.
Yeah.
Or candy in the jar or whatever.
It doesn't matter what it is.
Pray on something fun. Count your blessings.
Count your blessings. Yeah.
All right.
With the Eiffel Tower in the background.
Yeah. Well, this is Sonia Choquette, and she lives in Paris now. She loves Paris.
Okay.
I think that's why some of those pictures are in there. Okay. So it says, everything is starting to fall into place. I think every card's been saying that, right?
Pretty much.
Open your heart and feel the blessings at hand. Accept your beauty and grace and let your inner self shine through. You're finally accepting the fullest of your divine spirit. Your divine energy is calling you to be a success story in the world. You're moving into direct alignment with your full potential. As familiar as this is, all your hopes and dreams are beginning to manifest on the physical plane. You're starting to live a charmed life. It's well deserved. Your blessings are abundant and flowing, even if you feel suspicious of all the goodness coming your way. The wealth is the direct result of your past efforts combined with your willingness to acknowledge all that the universe has to offer you. Your divine invitation is to expand your capacity to receive goodness and love without resistance. Receiving is all about receiving. It may take some time, it might take some getting used to, but let yourself fully absorb the blessings that the Creator has to offer. It's the next step in the natural plan of your soul's growth. Yep.
Interesting how all of these cards, now this is, I keep saying this every time, but I like saying it because it feels good. Interesting how all these cards are hitting the same theme and they're hitting exactly what we're talking about.
Right. So that's the 5th card I pulled.
Yeah. Yeah. And every single one of them. I mean, just remarkable.
I actually have, it's 4:51. I have 2 more decks up. I'm going to let you pick which deck because we're running out of time a little bit, are we?
Oh, well, we started a little bit late. We've got about 15 minutes left.
All right. Which deck do you want me to choose from?
Ooh, the one on the right just grabbed my attention. Angels and Ancestors.
Is this your right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the deck that had the white owl. What was that?
The White Witch.
White Witch.
That was the same deck. Okay.
Yeah, this is the deck that had the White Witch last week. This deck I'm not too familiar with.
Well, we gained a little familiarity last week.
Yeah. You don't really have to be familiar with it. I mean, it's just I haven't used it as much as like all those others.
Mm-hmm.
So I probably won't. Well, who knows? You never know. I might tap into the energy of it.
Well, given the way the cards have been going today, I wouldn't be at all surprised, to be perfectly honest. I mean, I'm kind of expecting it now.
Yeah, no, I know. Whatever it is, it's going to be perfect. Okay, so even if we don't get it, the snake, shed old skin. Oh, wait, 2 cards came up.
Ooh.
Okay, so the snake, shake all skin, or old skin.
Shed old skin, all right.
And summer, bask in the joy and the light. All right,
okay.
Let's do them both.
All right, let's find out.
Okay, so I just have to find where to find these because this deck is a little bit different. Seasons. So that's what I mean. I don't use this deck enough to know how it lays itself out.
Well, tell you what, I'll take a little pressure off of you because I have to get our promotional messages.
Okay,
in.
do that.
Let me do those, and you'll find the cards. So it's just a reminder to everybody who's not yet a subscriber to become one. Most of you are subscribers, and we're so grateful for that. You've helped to just build our numbers up and build up our community and our audience, and it's just so terrific. But for those of you who are not yet subscribers, we just want to encourage you at this moment to take a moment and just get it done. I mean, most people know how to do it, but if you don't know how to do it, we've set up a little thing for you at the homepage of our website, loatoday.net. Right at the top of the page, it will give you little instructions on what to do with your particular device. It actually detects what kind of device you have and then tells you what the instructions are for your device. So just do what it says. Usually it's 1, 2, maybe 3 clicks. And then just like that, you're subscribed and everything's coming to your smartphone every single day that we're putting a show out there. And also check us out on YouTube because when we do the show, we live stream to YouTube and you can watch us while we're actually doing the talking. If you're available at 4 p.m. New York time on Monday through Friday, you can actually tune in while we're live streaming. Some of our listeners like to do. But in any case, make sure that you're subscribed both ways so that you can be a part of your daily dose of happy and get that daily dose because that dose makes a difference. It really helps when you're feeling better. And hey, if you got a show that helps you get there, why not, right? So become a subscriber.
Okay, so I have it. Snake, shed the old skin. So the message is cast off the old, reveal your true colors, talents, and gifts to the world. In many spiritual traditions, the snake offers powerful medicine. In Tantric teachings, it symbolizes the Kundalini, which is the powerful serpentine energy within that allows you to reach your highest spiritual potential. When the sacred ones saw a snake in nature or encountered one in a dream, they knew that there was transformation in the air. For me, the snake card not only represents the shedding of old skin, but moving beyond the limitations caused by carrying the venom of negative thoughts about others or the past. So that speaks to that ego part, that past thing. That speaks to the moving forward. Couple of the things that we mentioned today, but there's an extended message. It says the energy of renewal is washing over your life at this time. And the other card, we were birthing new things, right?
Mm-hmm.
If for some reason you feel that your true self hasn't been recognized or you've been misread by others, know this energy is now leaving you. As you've been working through your old stories and all the self-limiting beliefs that you've accumulated along the way, you've been peeling away a shield of skin that has created limiting experience. Yes, we're shedding that. Mm-hmm. Your own personal commitment to growth has been recognized and is now the external world will begin to reflect all the work that you've been doing within. If you feel someone you love has misunderstood you recently, they will be able to see beyond. They'll be able to see beyond that if you're willing to recognize your own challenges. This is a time for renewal, abundance, and connection. Let yourself be reborn and celebrated. Yeah.
Interesting how all of these cards today are not only talking about the very things we're talking about, but they're all talking about transition. Transition's a big theme today.
New beginnings, letting go of the old stuff, those old ego programs. I don't even remember all the different cards, but they did really all come together, right?
They all said the same thing, yeah.
So let's see what this card, Summer, has to say.
Okay.
Bask in the joy and the light. So the message, rise up, open your wings and shine. So there's that moving forward thing again.
It is.
Bring your projects and plans into the light, into manifestation. Summer has always been recognized as a time for joy, for going on adventures and making memories. Flowers are in full bloom. Animals are enjoying the freedom of the wild summer days and nights, and people are taking holidays, basking in the sunshine and being lifted energetically by light and warmth. So the extended message is, this is a perfect opportunity for you to enjoy the fruits of your labor. Light has come to banish the darkness. Clarity is arriving too, allowing you to know exactly where you are and how you can move forward. Angels and ancestor guides are encouraging you to enjoy this moment and not to rush forward, because this is a time for pleasure, enjoyment, and expansion. There's a great chance that you have extra energy, creativity, and inspiration at this time. So notice what's coming to you, and as it is, notice what's coming to you as it is an inspiration directly from the divine. So follow on those nudges, those little things that you like. That's why I'm doing all this artwork again, because I'm like, something's telling me to do it, so I'm just going to do it. Okay, when the summer card arrives in the future position of a spread, this isn't a spread, but anyway, or if it's the last card in the reading, this is the last card in the reading. It can also indicate that the coming summer will usher in an important energies with regards to your questions and intentions. Well, that's nice.
I'll have to tell Louise about that too, because we have a few things going on that we're really hoping are going to come to a cusp during the summer. So that's a very encouraging card.
Yeah. Have her watch the show over. This is a good show. I don't know what you're going to entitle it, but I don't know either.
Like I'll
transformation, new beginnings, and shining your light. I mean, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely, transition is going to be in the title too, but transformation, you're right, is a big part of it for what the cards have been telling us today. That's really cool. It's amazing how all of these cards connect together, but today they're really connecting. I mean, it's almost like they were just deliberately laid out in order. Okay. Think about this because it leads to this, which leads to this, which leads to this. I mean, it's perfect.
I kind of feel like me acknowledging that portal and making the commitment to work with it and find out what that's all about. I think that energy is really coming in bigger. It's always here, but it's like, wow. Because, Rita's like, it's really here. I mean, you gotta work with this stuff. I'm like, okay, I will.
I believe it. It makes a lot of sense to me. If I knew that I had that kind of portal going on, I'd be interfacing with it every day, trying to basically find, okay, what you got to tell me today? There's got to be something cool, I'm sure.
Because she's like, what you're going to learn from connecting with these energies is you're going to be writing books about this. Now, it's funny because there's another psychic called Thomas John. He's pretty famous as a seatbelt psychic. I don't know if I ever mentioned him, but sometimes he comes around Connecticut or New York in our area.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see him in person for a whole lot less than a session with him because he's outrageously expensive.
No.
And he's so accurate too. I mean, he's just like spot on. It'll like blow your mind.
Mm.
He told me, because I had a reading with him. He told me that I'm going to be writing I have 2 books that I'm going to be writing. I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, there's no way I'm writing a book. But I've had that message come a few times, and every time I'm like, no, I don't see it. But hey, I got the message again today, and I guess if whatever this communion is, the information will come. I can do that. I'll channel the book, no problem.
Apparently others are seeing it, so it's definitely worth paying attention to. Yeah, that's cool. Well, I could see you writing a book. I mean, given what you talk about here on the show and what you've taught me and what you've taught our listeners, you certainly have plenty to say that you could put into a book. So it doesn't surprise me at all. But
yeah, I don't know.
I also know what it's like when you're presented with something like that and it's not something you were really ever thinking about. So you kind of, you're weighing it. You're kind of feeling like, is that really where I want to go, and so forth.
Yeah.
It's easy for us to see, perhaps not as easy for oneself to see.
Yeah. Well, there's something that comes through a lot in healing sessions, like working with this seed of light. And it's been like throughout the years, keeps coming back. Like I'll be in with someone and I get this message. I'm not going to describe it here now, but I've actually been doing paintings of this seed of light.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm like, I bet you this is coming from whatever that energy is that wants me to do whatever.
Well, sure, you get a repetitive theme coming through there. That's, if there's anything you've shown me, it's that when you've got a repetitive theme coming through, it's a message, and it's a big message. Yeah. It's got something for you.
I think there's something more to learn about that and how, and the healing that it does and the way that it comes through to me. So anyway, we'll see.
Good stuff. All right. Well, this has been good. And I still am not really sure what to call it, but you got the right words. I'm going to include those words, transformation, transition, and so forth in the title. I don't know maybe I'll just call it transformations and transitions. We'll go with that. But this has been an interesting show for that.
Moving forward, if I think of some things, whatever, you'll do it. You'll know what to do.
Oh, yeah. Usually what happens is, as I'm typing up the description after doing the final edit to get ready to publish, something comes to me and I just type it without giving it any thought, and it comes out fine. So
transformation, forward motion, success.
Ooh, I like those words.
Yeah, those are probably pretty good keywords on YouTube.
That's true. Yeah. I hadn't thought of it that way, but yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, you think of it that way. Keywording, brings people.
Well, I used to be very keyword oriented, but I found that I actually do better. And you're actually an influence in this. I find I actually do better when I don't try to pre-plan that too much like that, when I just kind of let stuff come through.
Okay, perfect. Then do that.
Yeah.
Whatever comes in, go with it.
Yep. And sometimes I look at the titles after I put them down. I say, what the heck did I have in mind for that? But it still works.
Yeah.
So. Good stuff. Well, have a great week and a great weekend, and I look forward to talking to you on Friday.
Yeah, and I'll let you know when we're going to have Rita on. Maybe it'll be next week. I don't know, but if so, then we'll just send some information out there through social media.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll let everybody know. And yeah, that's going to be a show not to be missed. No doubt about that. Yeah. So good stuff. Thank you very much also to our live streamers and especially to our podcast listeners as well. We will see you all next time here on LOA Today. Goodbye.